Hey YouTube, I just updated Jaethal's stats off screen, and now
Forwards.
I'm ready to go out and take care of her side quest. Of course, it'd be okay if she just stayed unresolved, got angry at me and left. I haven't used her for a while, but it's part of being a good guy. You even help your evil companions. Oh shit. We've got a real city. We've got like streets and everything. Pillars. We don't need pillars.
Forwards.
They finally finished the pedestal for the statue. I want to visit someone's house. New stuff. Diamond dust. Whatever.
Without a doubt.
My people flourish and prosper. I wonder if they still prosper after I steal all their stuff. Probably.
I will
But at least
guide
this
us.
isn't like the Elder Scrolls where I can literally steal every single spoon and plate they have. Which, by the way, is something that I love to do.
Our path leads on.
If someone pisses me off in the Elder Scrolls, they do not have a single thing to their name later on. May the gods bless your rule. I'll just help myself to some liquor. It's time to celebrate, right?
Without a doubt.
Citizens are doing quite well for themselves. But now I need some kind of scroll of open locks.
Forwards.
Yeah, there's no point in trying to boost my trickery. It's like, as a fighter, with my very low skill points per level up, it's just never gonna happen. Everyone's still standing around roughly where they used to, though. Oh hey, I can go into the well? Everyone knows that there's always some sort of adventure in the well, especially in Dragon's Dogma. That well was super dangerous. I never finished Dragon's Dogma, but apparently you eventually become super awesome. Oh. Appear to be super over encumbered. For reasons. Oh. Clearly identifiable reasons. I've got all that Hell Knight armor on me. It's like, it's fine when you get the party's encumbrance, but when you're just one dude, suddenly it's not so fine. The wells are drying up. But until it's an official quest, I guess I'm not really supposed to care. That thing is pretty sweet. But I'm pretty sure what Akundio has was straight up better. Ooh, the perfect headband. I didn't realize I had it. Like 23,000. Thought I was going to be getting more out of that.
Oh.
Alright, Harim, here's another +2 to all of your main stats. +26 wisdom. Let's see, +4 composite flaming. The giant bane's not really relevant most of the time. +2 speed. I'm confused. She clearly uses a composite longbow.
I don't want it.
How is she using this one?
Ooh.
Oh well. Maybe that was a patch thing. Like she was never supposed to be able to use that one, but she gets to keep it because she had it on before the patch. I don't know.
Forwards.
So the Will's
Without
water
a doubt.
is low. There might have been an old civilization under my kingdom. Magical prison. Something you found in the laboratory of Ferinus the Pensive. The letter you found in Ferinus' laboratory suggests that the door to his magical prison won't open until someone defeats 45 certain powerful creatures. The key has a spell in it that shows the exact number of creatures left. When the number of its charges reaches 0, the door can be opened. With each passing day, I'm more glad of moving to this wild place. Yes, I have none of the comforts of the imperial cities, but the wilderness has its charm. Whenever I go out to the lake, I always witness some picturesque scene, like nixies playing with a flock of elementals in the coastal waters. When evening comes, parades of will-o-wisp are pulled to my doorstep, dancing under the windows of the tower, making the night as bright as the day, and always smelling of a thunderstorm. I can just watch their games, or lazily throw lightning at them from the balcony. It's only just for fun. These creatures are nearly immune to magic. But they are very funny to observe when they sparkle and grow angry, realizing they challenge me at their peril. Despite all my efforts, the last of the thieves who broke into the tower has died. It's my fault, of course. I must configure the guardian golem better. The thief kept cursing me in 3 languages to his last breath. I didn't understand half of his threats. Something about the worst enemy that is already at my door. In the name of all the doorsteps of Iobera, I came to this wilderness to get away from all this. But the hotheads still find you, push themselves into trouble, and then curse you while you try to heal their wounds. It's such a shame. This is odd, but the guardian golem isn't working. It's not destroyed, but not quite disabled. And of course, I wouldn't have even a tenth of what I need for repairs. What could have happened? I checked the whole tower and all the protective spells, but I cannot find anything amiss. The body disappeared, right from the tower cellar. The only one who could get down there is me. I can certainly be distracted now and again, but this is still most strange. I wonder what I should do with the elven girl who I rescued from the wyvern. Her mind seems to be failing. She follows my every step, asks strange questions, and she always asks if I sleep well at night. Thank you, I'm not complaining. Well, at least her wounds are not so serious. A little more magic, and she'll be as good as new. I haven't opened this diary for nearly a month. I've been too busy with my investigation. Strange events have followed each other. A fire in my alchemical warehouse, the loss of the artifacts. Again and again, I test new combinations of protective spells, but all in vain. Something is stalking my tower, leaving no trace and easily breaking through every protection. I cannot imagine what skill and power this creature must possess. Also, I cannot comprehend why, owning such a great power, it still hasn't killed me. I do not sleep well at night. Sometimes I pass out in the middle of the day and return to consciousness on the floor of my laboratory, or on the ground just past the doorstep. I'm a fool. I should have listened more carefully to what the dying thief said. I know it's after me, and I don't have much time to figure out how to fight it. Seems like he was getting possessed or something. You who reads these lines, whoever you are, please heed my words. I'm in desperate need of help. My name is Fernes the Pensive, and I am a mage from the great empire of Iobera. May the gods prolong the years of its prosperity. I retired to these wild lands, in the furthest of our provinces, to peacefully engage in magical experiments, but now a terrible danger looms over my work and even my life itself. I'm not even sure if I will have time to finish this message before it takes me. Oh, unknown reader, if this letter is in your hands, I am either dead or trapped in a magical prison in a barrow near the western spurs of Tors of Levines. If you do not lack virtue, or at least desire to receive a well-deserved reward, then find the dungeon and save me, or recover my mortal remains. It will be difficult to open the door. Here in the laboratory I store the magic key you will need for this, but in addition to the key, the door is locked by a mighty spell. The door will open only for one who defeats 45 monstrous creatures of all kinds. Magic tags their lairs with a special mark, which you may have already seen on your way. It may be foolish to hope there's a daredevil out there who's capable of overcoming dozens of monsters and combating the terrible power that has ruined me, but I still hope for a miracle.
I will guide us.
Okay, let's see if I've already killed some of these monsters. Yes, charge is 13 instead of 45. I'm well on
Our
the way.
path leads on.
So that was cool. That was more interesting than what I expected to find in my well.
I will not falter.
Oh, that
Forwards.
doorway glitch. Annoying, but not super relevant.
Without a doubt. I will guide us.
And it's in effect here, too. That's annoying. I'd only ever seen it once before, and here it is twice in the same building.
Our path leads on.
We get a book about the curse of Iobera. And let's see. That was the same region that Mage had mentioned. It looks like I might already have a copy of it, so it hasn't shown up.
Without a doubt.
Here.
Forwards.
If you hold the right mouse button down, you can set like an arrow. Oh, it just determined you're facing. Okay.
We march ahead.
Whoa. Bladed plate. Okay. It's one armor class better. So now my sword has spikes and my armor has spikes. You could say I'm kind of edgy.
Without a doubt.
I'm guessing the tavern probably still looks the same, so I'll head there later. It's still cool having a city. I'm glad they did this little map rearrangement for us. Okay. I think that's everything major. It's weird it wouldn't let me in here. The camera kept sliding up. Let's see what happens if I just click there on the map. Regardless of whether or not the camera will let me go there. It doesn't even open up the map. That's kind of wild. It says new events in my capital, but we were just there. So, I feel like that got covered. Now where did Jaethal want to go again? To the Valley of the Dead. That's not a short trip.
A rest would be welcome. Oh, you can check out this collapse passage too while we're out here. Not to mention collect some of these resources we didn't get before. Oh, thought I did own these lands.
Nok-Nok tired. Legs weak. Stomach empty.
The woman seems incredibly old and haggard. It's hard to believe she can move at all, let alone reach such wild places. But her dark eyes burn with a cold flame. Why do you disturb a poor pilgrim? I live, perhaps my final days. Has Urgatha heed my pleas? I've been waiting for so long. Jaethal does not seem pleased. She looks upon the old woman's pale and wrinkled face, barely concealing her disgust. You may call me Jaethal. You guessed correctly. We serve the same goddess. In case you're unaware, a servant of Pharasma is chasing you. We could help you, but first I would know who you are and how you might prove yourself useful. I'm not surprised. The servants of Pharasma have chased me for nearly 40 years. My name is Taneka. What do you want to know? What do you know about Jaethal? How could I not recognize the one chosen by the goddess? Her power in you shines like the full moon on a black velvet sky. I know that she can do many things, including sharing her gift with others. What are you doing here? I came here, sensing the awakening of an ancient and powerful undead creature, hoping perhaps I could somehow scoop up a handful of his incredible power, turn myself undead, and slip away from death. But it seems that I'm too late. Yeah, we killed the big guy here. Who are you? This cannot be explained in one breath. Long ago, as a powerful priestess of Urgatha, the leader of a secret coven, I had everything: power, beauty, wealth, admirers ready to sacrifice their lives for me. I possess the secret of Urgatha's ritual, which grants the power to overcome death and old age. It demands the life of blood relatives as a payment. But what of that? I had given birth to 2 adorable daughters, and raised them in anticipation of the day when their youth and beauty would become mine. Kinda wanting to kill her, but I was naive and overconfident of my power. I met an enemy who destroyed me and all my hopes of a second youth. But why would you care about the grief of a dying old woman? I really don't. I still know the secret of the ritual, and I can share it with you, oh beautiful Jaethal. She already knows it. The ritual will grant you immense power. You can even become a living being again. Oh. All I ask in return is that you prolong my life, raise me as undead. The other roads to eternity are closed to me, and I do not wish to die. This offer sounds tempting. What do you say, Titus? Tell me more about what happened to you. My ritual, it demands the victim be properly prepared. Some time ago, I took my daughters to the Coven's underground hall and lulled them into a magical sleep that was to last many months. However, I did not consider that the father of one of the girls, also an adept of Urgatha, would put the life of his child above his passion for me. In all that we believed in and lived for, the fool secretly went to beg help, and from where? The Temple of Pharasma, no less. The Lady of Graves is not highly revered in our country. Only 2 old priestesses lived in her temple, but when they learned of a secret coven of Urgatha operated in the city, they called their inquisitor for help. I remember him clearly, so young, so proud, a half-elf of rare beauty, thick brown hair and a gaze that burned with the certainty that he was his goddess's favorite weapon. He broke into the hall while I was preparing the ritual. We fought the Coven of Urgatha against the Pharasma's inquisitor and his 2 companions. Everyone died that evening, except the 2 of us. But no matter how self-confident the young inquisitor was, he could not defeat me. I remember the moment he realized it. I read it on his face when he lost his confidence for the first time. But then, he rushed to my daughters, still lying in their slumber, and killed both in an instant. Then he turned to me and said, "No way out." And that was that. Were his mocking words a curse or just a guess? I do not know, but they bore the fruit of truth. No way out. My coven died and my secrets were revealed. I had to flee, to hide from the Pharasmites in the backwoods, down the rat hole, denying myself my usual luxuries. Without my daughters, I could no longer prolong my life in youth. Year after year I tried in vain to conceive a child. Year after year, in desperate attempts, flights, and hardship. My beauty and strength melted away, and I became a miserable, exhausted old woman. Jaethal's gift is now my only hope of escape from death. So you want Jaethal to kill you and raise you an undead? I do not think killing me is necessary. Only the pathetic remnants of my former strength support my body. I need only loosen my grip and my end will come swiftly. Yes, in exchange I offer a priceless secret. It can be used in many ways, to grant new powers or even a new life. I'm listening. Despite her detached composure, the undead elf looks at you with tension in her eyes. We might accept this offer, then change the agreement after I possess the secret of the ritual. Yeah, knowledge is knowledge. I'll decide if we should use it or not. Teneka looks at you with insane hope in her eyes. Then, with a trembling hand, she pulls a large scroll from somewhere under the rocks and hands it to Jaethal. I almost did not expect. I yearn to know that I have endless years ahead instead of an imminent end. Give me this chance, sister, and be blessed by our goddess. Teneka's eyes slowly fade as her life force leaves her decrepit body. A moment later, the woman falls heavily to the ground, dead. Now I propose we leave this carrion to the ravens. This pathetic, weak, ugly creature was unworthy of Urgotha, and even more unworthy of her gift of unlife. Lies and pride, that's all you are, all you will ever be, Jaethal. Don't think yourself any more. Yeah, we're not gonna revive her. And I'm back to neutral good. I'm relieved that we can always find a common language, Titus. Let's move on. I'm impatient to study this ritual and hunt down the half-blood. I mean, I have to do a whole lot of hunting. The false merchant Enno walks toward you with an easy gait. His calm friendliness has disappeared, like a mask fallen from his face. His clothes are decorated with the easily distinguishable symbol of Pharasma. I hope you've settled all your affairs with the poor old exile. It was an interesting show to watch. Time to explain yourself, Enno. I don't have much to add, beyond what I'm sure you already know. I'm the Inquisitor of Pharasma, and for almost 40 years I've hunted the undead and cultist of Urgotha for the glory of the Lady of Graves. I destroyed Teneka's coven, I tracked Jaethal into the wasteland and killed her, only to find that her hideous deity returned her to life, air quotes. To put an end to that, I made use of a company of naive young elves from a camp near the Thorn River. What a stunning frankness. Did you imagine, Half-Blood, that those youngsters could handle me and the king? Do not be so naive, Inquisitor. I held no hope that the young elves would kill you, or your defender. No, I wanted you, rather, to kill them. And I did all I could to inform their relatives in Kionian of the horrible violence you perpetrated. Retribution will follow sooner or later. One lonely warrior of Pharasma may fail, but 3 elven clans will find a way to exact their revenge. There's no way out, Jaethal. Not for you. So you deliberately sent them to their deaths. They weren't undead. What grudge did you hold with them? They were a necessary tool to complete my mission. In my youth, I thought the best decision was a bold, honest battle with apostates and monsters. But I learned much from my struggle against Teneka. There's nothing worse than seeing an abomination rise before you and being powerless to strike it down. One must use any method available. Why'd you kill Teneka's daughters? They were necessary for her disgusting ritual, and their death was my only chance to prevent it. Do not forget who I serve. Their honest death and their soul's journey to Pharasma's judgment was a far better fate than their mother had prepared for them. Did you track down Jaethal right after her expulsion from Kionian? Immediately after the trial. I was born in Kionian, and often visited. It's uncommon for high society ladies to perform ritual murders for the glory of the Dark Goddess, so the news quickly reached my native Greenhold, and soon came to me. When later, the elves sentenced her to exile rather than the usual life imprisonment, well, how could I stay away? It's all well and good, but why do you come here now? I went in to talk to you, King. My hunt for Jaethal is the greatest work of my life. She is the living example of the hideous essence of the cult of Urgatha, the distortion of world order and the triumph of the evil intentions of her vile deity. Even if I die today, the story will end the way I intended, but you can still change your own role in it. You've been playing games for far too long, Zealot. I've heard this so many times, even among the priests of Pharasma. There are many who think my faith is insane, and my methods cruel and excessive. But that's the fate of the Inquisitor, loneliness. Jaethal's been dead for a long time, a dead heart and a dead soul. Let Pharasma's Inquisitor commit his judgment. The world will sigh with relief. First goddess, second goddess, nope, not gonna mess with him. But I know for sure, my goddess is better. Yeah, gonna side with Anno and take out Jaethal. No, no, I cannot die. I will not die.
You cannot stand against me.
Afraid you're a little fucking
Nok-Nok used to light
overwhelmed
the
here.
fire first.
Scared?
Who will prevail?
You should
Does
be.
it matter? Repent.
How'd she get up
Nok-Nok
again?
tired, legs weak, stomach empty. Hoping not fight
Submit.
back. Best kind of fight.
Fuck.
A clever ploy.
That hurt. Good.
What is going on?
My strength fades.
It's strange. I had no doubt that today it would be my turn to visit Pharasma's court. Not the chosen one of the most disgusting of deities. It seems the term of my service is not over yet, which means there are yet more monsters which will soon kiss their unlife goodbye. You helped cure a terrible plague. Accept the gratitude of Pharasma's faithful servant, and this reward. So what's the dagger? Dormition. +5 undead bane. Ooh. It deals an additional 26 positive energy damage, which will be healing against most things. It only hurts undead. That's neato.
You
do
cannot
it
stand
the
against
hard
me.
way.
This has gotta be a
Your life
glitch.
ends low.
Oh yeah, that's due to my difficulty settings. Does she count? Still counts as one of my companions.
We will
Scared?
prevail.
You should be.
Good, you dead. My strength fades.
Let's
Submit.
finish them quick.
You
To
cannot
the dust
stand
Easier
against
if
me.
you not fight back.
A rest would be welcome.
A
Scared?
fatal mistake.
You should be.
Ooh, that one went deep.
Man, Nok-Nok just walked up and dealt like 100 damage.
Let's walk out of here, then walk back in. That's kind of a silly bug. Yeah, life will be a little nicer if we heal up everything after resting. Okay, Jaethal's body appears to be gone. I've lost some goodies that we put on her, but she didn't have anything crazy. Actually, let's see if I did get any of her stuff back. Don't think so. Hmm. 5 days. No, I'll just sleep. It'll just take longer. We are down a person, so we don't quite need all 6 rations. Actually, Jaethal shouldn't need to eat. She shouldn't take a ration anyway. I wonder if this will be where I use that key once all of its charges are down.
Forwards.
Who will prevail? Does it matter?
It looks like poisonous gas in there. But actually the poisonous gas is here. It's a lot of zombies.
Nok-Nok used to lighting enemies on fire. I'm leaking lead all over
Does the zombie have
myself.
haste? That's not cool. Okay, take 2.
The end draws near.
Aporane sentes. Patricium Turinos. Aporane sentes.
Yes, I'm still here.
You require my assistance?
Jubilost trahi.
Okay, that should be good enough.
Hoping not fight back.
Good, you did it.
Best kind of fight.
We shall overcome.
Nok-Nok keeps setting enemies on fire first. Be easy to fight back.
Noise. Ha! Primitives.
That hurt?
Agile zombie.
Will they ever learn?
It's like an oxymoron. Who the hell's channeling negative energy? The column itself.
Nok-Nok nervous when watched. I did it. I did. Leaking red all over myself.
Grotus awaits us.
Well, done playing with the column, I guess. I don't get why channel negative energy is slowing them though. It should just do damage.
I was successful in my search.
Did it without breaking it.
Forwards.
Who's there? Lamastu?
Ooh, giant strength plus 6.
Without a doubt.
Some of the things in there didn't seem to actually do anything. Guess we may as well check out these new events while we're over here.
Forwards. Without a doubt.
Better put a big exclamation mark on this, just to let you know you can never come back. Feel like it's like receiving a nice invitation letter that just says, "You are not invited." Kind of a dick move. But I expect Varnold to be a little more interesting. Everybody gets to get back to their life after having their souls sucked out and put into a jar. As Larry the Cable Guy might say, I don't care who you are, that's a big deal.
Forwards.
Jaethal will greet you with a friendly smile. Welcome! We've just brought in a couple of new recruits. The guards are teaching them all they need to know about standing night watch, and I'm busy making armor for the boys. No one should fight bandits with a bare chest. Leather armor can do wonders. It won't make a lot of noise and give away your ambush, but it will protect you just fine from a blade. How's the militia doing? We're doing fine. We train volunteers, keep the hotheads separate, catch thieves. Don't worry if anything goes wrong. I'll let you know right away. So, she's telling me about how she's from a gang. Picked up leather working. Leather working, you mean? With pleasure. You see, the trick is to remove the hide so that the tendons don't stick to it, otherwise it'll go brittle. Then you only need patience. You let it rest, you drench it in salt water. That way you get sturdy leather, hard as wood, but still flexible. If you wear that, you can rest easy, even with some bastard poking you with a blade. It's not steel, of course, but you won't be running around the woods all day in steel, or sneaking up on someone from behind. And then there's all the other equipment we need to survive a day in the woods, or on the dark streets, and it's all made of leather as well. Without a good pair of boots, the first snake will get you, if you haven't drowned in some swamp already, and without gloves, every poisonous bush will leave its nasty mark on your hands. And I won't even get started on belts. The most useful thing you own, if you don't want to lose all your things while you're on the run. All in all, it's a good craft to know, and it keeps bread on the table. Why'd you come to Varnhold? I killed the wrong man. I thought he was a villain, a threat to those who were under my protection. I couldn't forgive myself, so I left. I went wherever the road would take me. As for Varnhold, I was just passing through, and I suddenly felt, this is it. I felt like this is the place I could start a new life, an honest life, a life lived by the law. And here I am. Alrighty. Pretty cool dagger, but I don't know if anyone would actually equip it. So in a lot of ways I just sold out Jaethal for 30,000 gold. But given that she was evil, it's probably totally okay. Guess I can sell her old dagger too. Alright, now Varnhold has some cool magic items for people to save up for.
Without a doubt. I made it back before the fatigue became exhaustion. Oh hey, I can teleport places now.
I guess it's just the places with my mage towers. Oh, and I have a library. Sweet. Everything's looking up.
A rest would be welcome.
Nok-Nok tired. Legs weak. Stomach empty.
This is calling out people who helped the game, like the Patreons or Kickstarters. It's a little difficult to pick up the items in here.
Forwards.
Maybe it'll automatically loot them as I leave.
Without a doubt. I will guide us.
Now, this is based off the same map as the Temple of Shillen that we took Valerie to. King John is remembered and respected across Galarian as a noble peacemaker. Rumors say he was one of the patrons of the Sura Magan and a close friend to their founder Avalov himself. I wonder if that's a reference to some of the people who work and actually created Pathfinder, and maybe a reference to Chris Avalon.
Our path leads on. Without a doubt.
King Jason Scott was undoubtedly enthralled with the mysteries surrounding the disappearance of Aroden, the living god. The name Jason Scott seems to ring a bell too. I think that might be, again, another reference to the people who made Pathfinder. Goblin Poetry Collection became an international bestseller.
So that library was probably what added the red check mark or exclamation mark to my nation on the map. Alright, this spot's new too.
Forwards.
No, it's not. I just hadn't been up that cliffside path. Let's take a nap before getting down to anything too serious.
Forwards.
Let's see. We never do manage to complete this. Only need to roll a 5, but we never succeed. Could have used this earlier. It didn't matter. What's my BP? 214? 71 BP per week. That just keeps climbing nicely. Okay, we can rank up just about everything. Let's see if I can keep her Gongar free. There are quite a lot of potential things going on. Looks like I accidentally didn't start some of these. Okay, then let's rank up the economy. Dang. Ooh, relations -5 for that? Jesus. Valerie. Come the fuck on. Oh. Hey, we finally got some culture and made friends. We don't use Magar, so we don't need that. Treasure wants to talk to me. Still don't have anyone to handle spy matters. Let's talk to our treasurer first. Titus, it's time we discuss one of the gravest problems in the River Kingdom. Piracy, and all the crimes which accompany it. You see, for decades the illegal trade of stolen goods flowed through the criminals and corrupt merchants of these lands. Now that we have guards in the harbors and along the roads, this illegal traffic is slowed, but only somewhat. Someone else might suggest you take advantage of this situation. Simply collect your fees and don't ask too many questions about the blood these goods are soaked in. But as a traveler far and wide, experience has taught me that real wealth only gathers when there's no robbery or smuggling. The major trade unions don't want to deal with one who promotes piracy. I warn against tolerating things as they now stand. Establish proper customs in your harbor and hunt down these lawless captains. Okay, I agree with him. New events, customs and improving economic status. So we shall put an end to the illegal trade of stolen goods in these lands. What music to my ears. You heed my advice, proving that my labors to elevate this territory have not been wasted. I shall endeavor in my next book to explain how important it is for every wise advisor to work with a leader who knows better than to interfere. That's a big hat. I bet she's magic. Greetings, Your Highness. Allow me to alleviate your daily concerns with a humble gift from your admirer. Rod of Undead. I am certain that one of your friends will find this trinket useful. It's come a long way to get to your hands. I'd like to order a specific item. My quality for your money. What would you like? Rods are good. Whatever you say. Sure. I have no idea how to get to her shop.
Forwards.
Don't need that. This is pretty good. I wonder how much espionage I need before I can have an advisor that helps me with espionage. That's been kind of a sore spot for my kingdom. Can rake up the economy again. Nice. Yeah, we don't need everyone settling their disputes with duels. Okay, let's see what they want to say. And then upgrade my magic while I have everyone doing things. Titus, I have curious news. Rumor has it that there's a cult in your lands that twists the teachings of Erastil. They say the forests are depleted, and the god demands blood sacrifice to restore the power of the woods. They paint their faces and kill anyone they come across in the forest. Of course, Erastil's worshippers condemn this new cult, and expect you to deal with it decisively. Oh, Jesus. That's a lot of negatives. It's up to you whether you will order your general to send in forces or condemn this new cult through your counselor. You may even ask your treasurer to pay a ransom in hopes they will leave. It's up for you to decide. Yeah, I'll take this on militarily. So there's someone going around naming themselves the Osprey. He's acting like a Robin Hood. What's the DC? 20. And who can take it on? Tristan? Yeah. I'll have Tristan do that. Now we can finally unlock espionage. It was an opportunity. You only had to roll a 10. The advisor gave the order to secure the goods at the riverbank and return them to their rightful owners, using guards to drive away opportunistic crooks. Some were beaten up in defense of the wreck. The local people are annoyed because their right to salvage was violated, which changed the way of life for many coast dwellers. There was some faltering attempt to change the local laws and make duels equal to court hearings, but the legislators only introduced more confusion. Grand Diplomat wants to talk. I'll talk to her first and then see what's up. Hopefully she wants to talk about espionage. Titus, I was born in a noble family, so I can imagine why you decided to entrust me with a diplomatic position. I understand how a noble person thinks and how they should be addressed, but I also know that nobility doesn't always solve their problems openly. Sometimes a dagger, or poison, or a purse of gold in the right pocket can do far more than charters and official letters. But I myself am no infiltrator. These methods disgust me. You should choose some other minister to lead your spies. But now to the point. A guard detail from 7 Arches has been stopped at our border. They've been sent by the Voice of the Wind, a druid charged with diplomacy in this river kingdom. The guards are hunting some elven criminal, a fugitive who's hiding in our lands. They've asked us to provide support and seem concerned that we might instead help him escape to Keonian. I don't advise taking either side. Everyone knows that the people of 7 Arches have no loves of elves and rarely judge them equitably, but everyone has heard of the elven conspiracy to reclaim 7 Arches for themselves. Either way, this argument has nothing to do with us. I recommend you refuse to allow the guards onto our lands, but don't help the runaway elf either. Alright. Very good. We won't help anyone, as we have no proof of anyone's guilt or innocence. And there's the easier claim event, which might make future claims cheaper, which is something I should pursue. Alright, monthly potions. Increase the rank of the kingdom stats 40 times. No one's ever happy. Okay. Ah, damn it. I can only be one of the people we already have. Okay. Looks like Keston's the new warden. Nikundio's dealing with espionage. Which means, now that we're using Keston, I need to upgrade him. Ouch. Storyteller has almost no chance of passing this. Oh well. Octavia has almost no chance of passing this. I gotta make them better at this shit somehow. I'm gonna set Kingdom events to easy. These DC 30 things are pretty close to impossible for some of my advisors. Let's see if that results in lower DCs or anything like that. Yeah, DC 12. That's way easier than it was before. DC 28. Still very, very difficult, but... Oh, whoops, yeah. DC 25 still requires like an 18 on our roll, but whatever. It is what it is. Since we don't have... Well... Let's buy some more BP. Still don't have a build for her? Bad me. Okay. Dropped my phone on my keyboard for a second there. I wonder if it's possible to even spend 25,000 build points. I mean, it's probably meant to be a game's worth of build points, but I do wonder if you could fuck things up so bad you needed all of them.
Forwards.
community stat looks like it needs to be higher, or the rank should be higher for this value I have. Ooh, +7. Found a mineral spring. Opening a health resort there. Aw, dang. Normally Rigangar can handle whatever I throw at him. I gave someone a plot of land and they were very happy about it. Got a lot of magic knowledge from an old book. The Trail of Daring Lorik. Oh, people became troubled. But why? Before they were just worried. Because of quest? No. Cool, thanks. Titus, these lands are like a forest. Everyone is hungry, and all keep constant watch on their predators and their prey. What you need is ears, by which I mean spies. We don't have any yet, but others do. They're planting them among us. I must stay in the shadows so I can catch them. Don't tell anybody I'm your head of espionage. Simply tell them I'm a minister. Keep it simple. A crowded caravan has arrived, the kind that often carries illegal goods. The guards searched the caravans and found a stash, but it didn't have potions or artifacts. It contained spying equipment. It's unclear who the spy is, but he's clearly experienced. He had fine tools. We must catch the spy to track down his master. This is an animal that must be stalked quietly. We'll need a tail on every member of the caravan, but let them keep back. No threats, no torture. There's only one spy. The others are not at fault. Who, in your opinion, sent the spy? an enemy, a neighbor, an inquisitive mind? We haven't picked up the trail yet. We must keep looking. And trust your opinion. I'll order the guards to keep an eye on the merchants. With special projects, you can find locations you missed within the kingdom. Use projects to send scouts, and after a while they'll return with information about a new location. After some time to rest, scouts will be able to continue exploring regions for more locations. Neat. I don't think I missed anything, but I guess we'll see. Let's make sure I don't have any problems first, though. Yeah, it's all opportunities now. We didn't start the easier claim, right? She's been on that for a while. Yeah, ends in 6 days. Yeah, lost 5 BP, but that's no big deal. We need to get up our espionage efforts. Dang. The people only laugh at the counselor's humble attempts to support the mysterious hero. Such a champion of the people's justice needs no approval from anybody. Got some new settlers. Rim did things. Keston's more competent. Storyteller's more competent. We can claim some lands. We can deal with people being troubled, but it costs 1,000 BP. Oops, that was supposed to already be done, but oh well. Nope, Valerie would just mess that up. Keston can handle this. Is there anything else I can start up? No, we got plenty of things going on at the same time. almost done with Troubleshooter. A trade war. We have a chance to get some state-of-the-art ships. It's looking more and more like we do need to throw this feast. We haven't been stable for quite a while. Let's see, he'd have to roll a 16 to complete this. That's probably just going to hurt me, even though it's an opportunity. But we'll see. It says we collected a sum, but I didn't see us collect any BP. So we've got a shantytown forming. I think Tristan's compassion would be best for this. Let's see, DC 13 for Lindsay, DC 11 for the storyteller. That's interesting. It's DC 27 for both of these though. I wonder why some of them have different DCs. Must be that 2 rank bonus some of the missions have given. But still. These are still very rough rolls. I had a feeling this would happen. Ouch. Alright, let's see what the warden wants to talk about. A minor court case has been the talk at the capital, Your Highness. A swindler was caught trying to slip a love potion to the daughter of an important merchant. The court has found him guilty, but decreed that since the situation is so unusual, all you could pronounce a just sentence. The established punishment for fraud in the kingdom is a fine. To my mind, this case does not warrant a departure from established procedure. The case is not so exceptional as the locals imagine. That does seem more than simple deception. They're the villain in jail. I'll inform the court, Your Highness. We haven't gotten a ring before. Let's see what Bakken gave us. Oh, an extra d6 bomb damage. I wasn't using his immunity to acid much. Almost all my major party members have both their ring slots used. So, alright, Octavia, you get immunity to acid. We have no events. That's so rare. Ah, sweet. Take a bonus to the warden. And he's busy. So is the priest. Treasure is open. So is the general. Let's see, we own everything we can own right now. So let's just upgrade. Dang. Our priest went into the woods to persuade the druid to abandon his violent path, but their efforts were in vain. He continues the struggle, wreaking havoc across the region. We didn't manage to disrupt the slum dwellers. They fled quickly, preferred their life of freedom and poverty. They filled the streets once again, although at least now they avoid encroaching on the property of churches and temples. Ooh, that's expensive. A bold and daring creation of the region's dwarven settlers, the Roads of Shields has sat idle for centuries, waiting for someone to revive its glory. Provides 20 economy, 10 stability and relations, increases BP by 5 per week. Situations resolved by the warden or treasurer. Now, no March regions have +3 bonus. Woo. You can't fail these, so I'll set Keston to it. He's only got +8 to things. Then I'll start the project. deal with some fungus. Oh shit, vampires are showing up? Okay, is anyone not busy? Yeah. Upgrade the treasury. Dang. All he had to do was be cool. Okay, treasure wants to talk to me. This slum dweller's popped up again. And we'll talk to the treasurer. Titus, the movement of goods through your lands continues to grow. It's time we exercised your right to charge fees and taxes on merchants who enter your borders. In the past, Brevoy has exercised this right, but now it's in your hands. You only have to decide what to levy taxes on. I recommend you steer to the middle course. Do not oppress the merchants too greatly. Do not believe their complaints and claims of poverty either. You should place a tax on goods for the rich and on craft materials for artisans. They both have enough income to survive these taxes without going bankrupt. Certainly, you're free to dismiss my advice. After all, what's the word of a famous traveler who's seen so many countries and watched how they prosper? I'll leave this to your capable judgment. -2, -5. Alright. Didn't seem to help my kingdom to take that course, but I'll take his word on it that it was okay. Rod of the Fearless. Let's see what these rods do. +6 against fear. Grants the ability to make up to 4 spells they cast per day extended as though using the extend spell feat. Okay, so it's basically a Rod of Extend. +2 to Necromancy School DC isn't a big deal. General wants to talk. Another noble's in trouble. Visitors from another world. Okay. A brothel was opened under the protection of Callistra's temple in the region. It has more and more customers by the day. Arestal's followers are enraged. These despicable fallen women are destroying families. It's okay to have one brothel, maybe. Titus, here's the thing. We whipped New Mary into line and made a good show of it, but we lost a lot of soldiers along the way. Our good neighbors must all be imagining how they'll to divide our territories between them. That's what I'd be doing in their position. We have to renew our ranks before it's too late. You could call up the local citizens, however, all the volunteers are either already recruited or 6 feet under the ground. That means we either take in the weaklings or we do it by force. We'll train them to kill, and then one fine morning, they'll take a blade in the heart. Not a bright future, eh? It's best to pay the mercenaries. That bunch of daredevils is dreaming of fighting for a war chief like you. And these guys are tough and dangerous men, not some untrained farmhands. Yeah. I trust your judgment. Oh, 250 BP, Jesus. You could have bought the cheap ones. I'll strike a bargain with the mercenaries. I'd have joined them if I hadn't become your general. Loads of weapons, full pockets full of gold, and no trace of remorse. That's my kind of party. Fucking warn a dude. Let's upgrade the regions again. The horse breeding center seemed especially cool, since it makes you move faster across the map. You only had to roll a 9, Lindsay. Why do you suck? The curator fervently supported Callistra's followers. She stated that the brothel's adversaries were concealing their pursuit of power and false concerns for chastity. These hasty words led to violence, and Arestal's followers were chased from the region with sticks and stones. I trusted you, Tristan. The idea of relocating the paupers to church shelters ended in failure. The mob desecrated the temples, robbed the priest, and quickly fled to trade stolen treasures for drink. The gods are enraged at the blasphemy. People are not rolling well. You don't expect someone like Nok-Nok to ever be confused, but he is. I don't know. I think having a low int score is kind of a perpetual confusion. Titus, our treasurer, informs me that we've managed to save up some money allocated for culture. A substantial amount, in fact. I talked to my friends in the artistic communities, and I found 3 projects worthy of support. At first, I thought of a local violin player I know. He's always dreamed of traveling around the neighboring lands, playing his music. I also talked to a provincial teacher who's assembling a book of local legends and traditions. And finally, I kept receiving letters from an artist local to the capital. I have no idea why. When we met, she offered me a series of etchings depicting your brilliant officers and the great feats of your army. I'm sure we should support the musician. Your patronage of the arts will make you famous across the river kingdoms. Tell me more about each candidate. The violin player I told you about is an old friend. Even the most callous listener is touched by his music. Besides, he has plenty of friends in the river kingdoms. His concerts will be of the highest standards. They'll attract crowds of fans, and every one of them will be grateful to you for giving them the gift of such lovely music. The provincial teacher is also very naive and sweet, but his innocence only deepens his vision. You should hear him speak of the folk culture of the Stolen Lands. Your subjects will be very proud of their origin and culture after they've read his book. The artist seemed an awful back-scratcher to me. I'm sure she only came up with the military theme to get herself a big order. I hate flatterers and apple polishers, especially when it comes to art. I kind of want to preserve the culture of the Stolen Lands. I'll hate to upset my friend, but I'm glad for the teacher. Nok-Nok seems confused. You notice what seems to be a leather rag in his hands. It smells faintly of sulfur. I take it this is yours? Nok-Nok remains frozen as he stares at the cape in his hands. He seems surprised and uneasy. It was once mine. War in the village. King once ripped it off my head, beat me across the skull and face with it, then used his wiper rag, and hit me again. Thought was lost long ago. What's it doing here? It's a challenge for ruler of tribe. The king has come back for me, but cape looks strange, smells strange. Why now? Where it come from? Goblins come here? Drop it off? What do you mean challenge? When goblins in Steel Lands fight for tribes, they fight over big best hat like crown, but not ugly and shiny like yours. This is a challenge, another tribe. Maybe he hear of our allying. Think he can get back crown by fighting me. Well, more so than usual. And one of his ears begins to twitch. But how he got power back? If in Kingdom now, probably cause a lot of trouble. Okay, if you can lead me to him, I'll go with you, but the fight must be yours. Nok-Nok nods, then leans down, then with a shaky finger turns the cap over. On the inside you see a map scrawled in red. He show us the way. We meet him where Lamastru's shrines were. We need to come together, you and me, rules of challenge. As you glance at the map, you're both surprised. The leather cap suddenly alights, burning brightly, then tumbles to ash on the floor. An enchantment? This may be Nerissa's work. Nok-Nok is silent, staring at the ash. He says nothing. You've never seen him this worried. You decide to give him space, but keep the challenge in the back of your mind. We found a dirty rag. I mean, old Nok-Nok's hat. I mean, a challenge. I love Lindsay's descriptions. I'm so confused with Goblin's customs. Looks like the late Goblin King has found his way back from the dead and now seeks revenge for his untimely demise. Nok-Nok has no choice but to answer, and our king agreed to watch his back. Ooh, reach rank 8 in any kingdom stats. That might be difficult. Okay. Let's save first. It's not gonna let me in. I mean, he did say it was the Shrine of Lamashtu, but the goblin clearing had the exclamation mark. Oh wait. I think I was actually in the wrong area. This is the goblin clearing, the one right above that. And we can't have Nok-Nok being tired. So we take a little nap beforehand. Oh, it's supposed to be just me and Nok-Nok. My bad. Well, me and Nok-Nok are bros. We can take on just about anything. Nok-Nok looks around, uncertain. You don't see anyone and no goblin shapes about, and no sign of a goblin camp either. Something feels wrong. There's a strange feel in the air and that hint of sulfur, like you smelled on Nok-Nok's cape in the throne room. This is the place, but King not here yet? Nok-Nok sounds slightly relieved, but he still looks ready to bolt. Something isn't right. Nok-Nok nods. As he does, you suddenly notice the surroundings melt away into trails of acrid smoke, revealing a number of goblins, weapons at the ready. Still, while their weapons are drawn, they do not attack. They have a curious light in their eyes you haven't seen before, and it takes you a second to realize its determination. They don't look scared at all, merely stand at the ready as if waiting the command to attack. So they might be mind-controlled? As you take in your new opponents, a familiar figure emerges from the tree line, but walking strangely as if fighting the urge to hunch down on all fours, almost feral. The figure looks to be the Goblin King you recall, but something is wrong about him. It's like someone tried to cram a larger creature inside his skin. Tufts of fur, like that of a wolf, peek from his rags, and his eyes, rather than dull and soft, seems to hold cold fire in them. So, the Lord of Cowardice returns. When you think it can't get any worse, there's a strangely familiar thundering noise, and into the clearing lumbers none other than the hill giant Nok-Nok. And from the smell of it, he's definitely been drinking. He stands behind the feral Goblin King, his huge club at the ready, and gives a low rumble, then snarls, pounding his chest. Nok-Nok say he not like us play trick on him, keep him waiting. He say hard to wait forever for promised drinks. It worse than getting stabbed with lance. Nok-Nok pauses. Lance not kill him though, I guess. The king gazes at you, and you feel your scalp rise as you speak. His voice is like a rasp, the knives being dragged across metal plate. Which of you, once ruled by this ragged shape I wear, the sooner your blood coats the ground, the sooner my debt here is done. All you cattle smell alike to me, whether you walk or roast on a skewer. Debt to whom? I'm a Bargeist. I was summoned at the behest of a Fae to defeat an ally of one who claims this land, weakening this false king when the time of reckoning draws near. He nods at Nok-Nok and gives a barking laugh. She said it could be any I chose, so I chose the weakest at your court, if only to fulfill my debt all the quicker and leave this wretched place. The price was that I had to take the shape of this humiliation. What terms did you agree to? Maybe you can turn this against her and get your revenge. The Bargeist growls slowly and suspiciously, then to your surprise answers in clear, precise speech. When one of the allies of the pretender to the throne of the stolen land lies beneath my feet, and their blood on the ground, I am freed, instantly, to return home and leave this vile plain behind me. So you chose Nok-Nok. Very brave. Fighting me would have been more fun and fair. I was told you were to be left for her. I care not why, but should you cross me, I've been given leave to slay you as well. It seems she wishes you to suffer longer than this one. He grins wolfishly. For the Fae and those of my kind, that will prove a much longer time than your flesh can withstand. The king turns to Nok-Nok. Come, goblin. The sooner I make sport of you, the sooner I will allow you to die. Perhaps with your linden attack. Well then, Nok-Nok, you're no longer my ally. And worse, you're not a hero. Never were. I've always hated you, you half-head doorstop. Not a hero? Never was? Also, doorstop? The expression on the king's face is much different. It is surprise, but there is fear woven in as well. Whatever you said, it worked, and you think it's placed the king in a bad position. You try to ignore Nok-Nok's broken gaze as you face the Bargeist. The creature gives a snarl, then tapes back, then another, as if uncertain. It's no matter, I'll kill another of your allies. But you told her you'd kill Nok-Nok. If you don't, you'll anger her. If you do, then Lamashtu will get upset. My bet? I'd choose a Fae's anger over the mother beast, but you made a pact, you'd lie in it. The Bargeist falls silent, and his eyes narrow suspiciously. Its skin twitches and its lips peel back to reveal its fangs. It looks furious, but does not move to attack. In fact, it doesn't seem like it can, despite the bloodthirsty look in its eyes. Instead, the Bargeist gives a blood-curdling howl, ichor spitting from its maw, its claws at the ground, ripping up great chunks of earth, then swipes at you in a frenzied launch, and backs away as if seeking to reach you, but unable to do so past some unseen force. Nok-Nok, behind an invisible wall formed by the shrieking beast, shrinks in terror. The other goblins in the circle seemed to withdraw as well, terrified. Even Munguk seemed surprised by the infernal fit. The hill giant backs away as if from a rabid dog. Hold on, maybe it'll drive them all away. As the Bargeist howls in frustration, the creatures, first one, then another, begin to run, then all of them rout, desperate to get away from the mad creature. As the beasts flee, the Bargeist remains. Then Gimchi one last choke snarl and vanishes, leaving the faint hint of sulfur in the air. You suspect this failure will likely not end well for him no matter where he returns to. But for now, the clearing is silent except for you and Nok-Nok. Nok-Nok gives a half smile, then nods at you. Not so hard. Tell you Mother of Beast watch over me. Should not let another beast get to me. Looks like we're done here, and looks like we scattered another potential threat to the kingdom. Still, would like to speak with you later. Need something. Well, I mean, we're alone. We're out in the middle of the woods.
Forwards.
I feel like you can talk to me here. Okay. I don't know what's going on here, but let's see. So we've installed defensive magical barriers. The people side with relief. Maybe Ikudio's a bad minister for espionage. But Jubilost is excellent for the economy. Yeah. So, it's a good deal. economy's getting close to that rank 8 I thought would be hard to get to. I'm gonna set the difficulty of the kingdom things even lower. We're doing awfully poorly, failing almost every single thing, not just by a little, but by a lot. Like, failure is one thing, but consistently hitting the disaster mark is rough. Yeah, cool. 200 BP. The king's advisors managed to use their raid of the sea dragons to their advantage. The terrified pirates, freeing from the servants of Abadar, fled right into the spears of the guards. Their treasures, ships, and lives were claimed by the king and his subjects. Oh, cool. A number of innocents require your protection, Titus. After suffering much bloodshed in the name of Restal, our peasants have begun casting a suspicious eye on the followers of other religions as well. The more inscrutable the faith, the more unpredictable and dangerous the cult seems. There have been clashes with small coven of silentiaries, whose sin is very minor indeed. They believe that speech is dangerous, fearing it leads to madness. They are to be beaten and banished merely for refusing to speak. They surely did nothing wrong. These innocents are breaking no laws or traditions. Tell your subjects to quiet their anger and leave the peaceful neighbors alone. Yeah. I mean, it's okay if you want to be quiet. Loyalty -5, but divine +4. It's good to have a place in this world where the weak and the few in number can find refuge and live in peace. You do remember our little adventure with the Fey Lords and their inconsequent debates, damn them? Before you ask, by damn them, I meant both the debates and the Lords. Anyway, I've been thinking about that dreadful verbiage we received as a reward for the trials. the answer to the question about the fate of the gnome race, allow me to remind you of the text. Not a single reasonable creature would spend valuable time solving this sort of phrase-mints. If only someone knew how much effort it required to treat the matter seriously. But it paid off. It's obvious that the part about opened the road for the ancient dead man and his black feathered messenger refers to Willis Gunderson, who awakened Vorticai. This guess led me to think, obviously that part about he who is born twice will be defeated twice referred to Armag. Exactly. We couldn't have known that at the time of the debates because we hadn't even met Armag yet, which makes me wonder who this respected host might be. But that's neither here nor there. So what do we do now? The riddle recommends we start looking after the twice born is twice defeated, and that's happened. The other part, thrice the number of those who lost their faces, that's also only clear now. It's 24, 3 times the number of defaced sisters there were. But the rest, what does it mean? When the moon leaves her path? Also, how does a dozen times in a dozen equate to 24? I'll have to study some astronomy reference books and write to some priest of Desna that I'm acquainted with. It's probably about some rare celestial phenomenon. I meant to ask you to deal with the first part of the riddle, the one about Willis Gunderson. Remember the riddle? We don't need to find him or talk to him, just read him. Here's what I think it means. I discovered that poor fellow wrote and published a few horrendous books. Perhaps the answer is hidden in one of them? The very thought of digging through that parody of literature is disgusting. I'd very much appreciate some help. Perhaps some book lover in the city will have a volume or two of his work. Alright, I'll look for those books and see if I can make some sense of them. Good luck on this difficult quest. I remind you, the riddle says we need to find something 5th and 10, and somehow related to Gunderson's writing. We put it together with the number 24 and go to Candlemere when the moon leaves her path. I hope this isn't some elaborate fey prank, because if it is, I won't have to do any more research to understand what made the gnomes leave the first world. It was the stinking neighbors. It's about time. Now we can probably get our economy to rank 8, which will meet our next quest goal for the kingdom. Oh man, Kiston has no chance of passing that. Your Highness, an ambassador of Trade Union and Daggermark has arrived at your court. The Union is asking for permission to trade in our domain. They're willing to pay a generous fee. It's worth considering who we are dealing with. In Daggermark, your power and privilege depend directly upon the weight of your coin purse, whereas leaders of other countries often surreptitiously act as profiteers and bandits. It's through profiteering and banditry that rulers in Daggermark rise to power. And to be clear, the city is thriving. I often hear praise of the intelligence and business acumen of Daggermark citizens, but never any praise of their honesty or ethical perspective. It's up to decide who you make deals with, but I don't mind playing this little business game we've been offered. Well, Jubilost can match wits with them, I'm sure. It's a brave choice. We'll see what this risky cooperation brings us. Mostly negatives right now. Oh, jeez, it's awful. Stability and espionage are my lowest ranks. So we just get totally shanked. Oh, cool. Dang. They had a good chance of passing that. Ah. 3 BP. A golem showed up. That's cool. There's a matter that demands your personal attention, Your Highness. The people at the capital have lodged a complaint against the inhabitants of the Mage's Quarter. Not only do unnatural sounds and strange lights disturb the peace, especially within the quarter itself, but also the ongoing experiments have simply become too dangerous. A young alchemist experiments have led to an explosion so powerful that his neighbors up and down the street felt their window panes tremble. Later that day, an unidentified purple substance fell from the sky, all over the city. Our people complained that it made the capital reek of wet goblin hide. I've no doubt that some of these reports might be exaggerated. However, I also have no doubt that on the whole, the concerns of our citizens are well-founded. Magical experiments have no place in a densely populated city. Thus, I suggest that performing magical experiments inside the city walls should be outlawed. Alright, I'll take a penalty to Arcane, but I guess that's what we're up to. New event. Arcane protection from compulsions. Support the Magister's endeavors. Oh yeah. This is cool. It's another adamantine golem. Help us. Help. Help. How do you like that? Again, someone needs our help, and again it has to do with golems. Does any of this seem familiar, Titus? Those simpletons from the Skeg clans must have dug up something else, and got themselves into trouble again. Oh no. And I've warned them. They were wooing death. I've warned them. Let's return to that little fortress, and they couldn't get inside. Let's see what happened to them this time. Alright, let's check on them. Just don't go without me, alright? I want to see with my own eyes what catastrophe they've wrought this time. All while praying to I'm not sure. Yeah, Tessie the Quill is who I wanted to talk to. Do you have any books by Vilas Gunderson? Pardon me, Your Highness. I once took a couple of his books with me and dragged them around for 3 years till someone bought them for a pittance as kindling. Won't be easy finding the works of that scribbler. Maybe someone in town has some. I'm gonna check her books, just in case. Lindsay the outrageously irreverent. There once was a power mad king who thought his good taste was the thing that would bring him to fame and cover his shame for failing to make some offspring. And there once was a king who was wacky and honestly quite a bit tacky. His offenses to taste required a mace used against him by some sort of lackey. Iravetti, he loves color orange. He's punny and lacks a mite's courage. He counts all his silver and secretly quivers in his castle behind a large dirt henge. When trying to rhyme Iravetti, I felt like a two-headed Eton with confetti as much overused as Yeti. Gotta scramble for something more pretty. Here rules the great King Iravetti. Just saying his name makes me sweaty. His taste weird and gaudy, and overly bawdy, and also he's terribly petty. That's fun. Okay, so he's got some books. Does the phrase 5th and 10 mean anything to you? Is this about Gunderson? He has a book titled 10 Adventures. It's some of his best work. Can I borrow those books? Of course, read away.
Oh!
Let's skip to Adventure 5. In the corner of the tavern, page 500. Page 1500 is the ending page. That is amazingly long-winded. Found Gunderson's book, the one we're looking for. It's a good thing I'm not a follower of Shelln, or I'd throw this thing into the fire right now and draw the deity's wrath. Just look at this language. Shivering, she clung to my shoulder and whispered, "Relis, you're my only hope. Only your well-developed adventuring skills, your daring mind, merciless eloquence, and shameless courage can save a poor girl like me." But I digress. We need something that 5th and 10. The name of the chapter is In the Corner of the Tavern. It sounds like a place, but which tavern is it? The nearest one? And who or what should we look for? Wait, we know the place, the tavern, and a number, 24. We can suppose that it's a place and a time, or rather a date. The 24 that's contained a dozen times in a dozen is the 24th of each month. I propose we meet at the Capital Tavern on the next 24th and see what happens. Wow, okay. Neat. Hopefully we're close to a 24th. Oh, we're on the 22nd. TC 28. Jeez. The king is secretly a lycanthrope. He devours children at night. Lindsay excitedly waves around a letter written in neat handwriting on expensive stationery. I have news. Take a look. Iravetti, King of Pentax, sent you an invitation to the Rushlight tournament. We're not going to miss it, right? And you're taking me, of course. All the high society of Pitax will be there, including people from the academy. Maybe even Headmaster Italia Gitarin. I'd love to see her face when she hears about the book Professor Eobald is writing with me. Interesting. Well, if I have the time, why not? Great. Trap or no, it'll at least be a ton of fun. You'll take me with you, right? Pretty please? Sure.
Iravetti, King of Pitax, invited our king to a tournament. But why? A demonstration of neighborly amiability, perhaps? Unlikely. The ruler of Pitax was renowned for his devious guile.
Forwards.
Yep, this will be the next main story mission. But things are finally going smoothly in the kingdom. I had plenty of time to rank up a bunch of things. As today is the 24th, let's see what we find in the Capital Tavern.
Forwards.
Luna seems new. Looks like that's our moon. I'd like to know what leaving her path means to her, and more importantly, how all this is related to the story of the gnomes. I hope we're about to find out. A girl with unusual silver-gray hair is looking gloomily into her mug of ale. As she noticed Jubilost clearing his throat, he raises her face and brightens. Oh, they told me that the king of the free lands walks the streets and feasts with everyone at the taverns, but I never believed it. Oh, forgive me, your highness. I am Luna Katari. You have an unusual name. I was born with bright silver hair. The midwives never saw an Asmore before. They were frightened, but my mother, not a bit. She said her daughter's hair was silver like the moon, which meant I was blessed by Desna, hence the name. Actually, I've always been drawn to faraway countries. Like anyone touched by the moon goddess, I've never been beyond the river kingdoms. Tell us about yourself. I'm a messenger. I deliver correspondence from Brevoy to Mivin and back. Usually reports about a rich merchant's underlings and his orders for them. My parents live in Brevoy, and the girl I love in Mivin. I've always dreamed of becoming a traveler, but that's not easy for the daughter of a weaver and a washerwoman. I was glad to find this messenger's job, though I thought that was pretty lucky. But now I'm traveling the same road over and over every month. I even sit right here in your tavern on the 24th of every month, right on schedule. The monotony is driving me to tears, but what can I do? I can't be everywhere at once. I can't stand the thought of settling down. Do you see it now? When Moon leaves her path, it's another part of the riddle. It looks like we just need to somehow convince our new friend to quit her well-trodden path and set off somewhere new. Plus, it would be good for the same road each month. If I were her, I've drowned myself long ago, if I didn't bleach sooner. No, if this life troubles you, something should be changed. Your family and friends want you happy, not exhausted and hating your existence. You speak with such confidence. Is it true you came to the Stolen Lands as no one and made yourself king by your own persistence and skill? I've heard so many stories. Your Highness, I wouldn't have taken this advice from anyone but you. But I've just decided I'm going to travel, and I hope not alone. We'll surely be able to earn a piece of bread together. Please take this. It's a relic my family received from an elven ancestor. According to the family legend, the one who deciphers the map will find 3 things: an incredibly sad secret, a true treasure, and a door to another world which will never open again. The entrance to a certain dungeon is marked here, but there's nothing to say where to go looking. You're a king with all the best scientists and travelers serving you. Surely they'll be able to read this map. Thank you again. Now I have to go. Ha! Moon has left her path, but now, who can explain to me why the host didn't simply tell us, go to the dungeon located here? Why make us run around in circles? But let's have a look at this map. What do we have here? Why, I recognize the area around the Candlemere at first glance. There are ancient ruins in this area. The dungeon must contain traces of the very first gnomes to visit Galarian. Well, our goal is clear. Now we need only to achieve it. Okay, seems like now we're gonna leave our kingdom as is, explore this cave for Jubilost, and then head out and head to Pitex. Go through those festivities. Hopefully have fun instead of just get made fun of by the other royalty. Weird how you can completely disappear off the map with the way your camera's forced off some areas. It's like they couldn't quite finish the map the way they wanted. I mean, I'm sure they just cut off some miscellaneous buildings that weren't needed, but still. Alright, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call the episode here, grab some food, and come back to this. Hope you guys had fun. I know I did. Be good.